This is a Mr. Shady show. Throwing shade wherever I go. Watch out, because she might be next. And today we are going to talk about Fear Street Part 2, aka Fear Street 1978. So this movie is a sequel and a prequel to the first Fear Street movie, aka Fear Street 1994. So this movie is another horror movie on Netflix. It's gonna give you major Friday the 13th vibes, mostly because it's at a summer camp. So Fear Street Part 2 is a prequel and a sequel to the first movie. It stars Sadie Sink, aka Max, from for Netflix popular series Stranger Things. Also, Gilligan Jacobs as who is also in the movie. And Emily Runt as Cindy Berman, aka Ziggy's sister. Ryan Simpkins, McKay Sly, Ted Sutherland, Ashley Zuckerman, and Jeanette from Cruel Summer, who is also in this movie. Now and Michael aka Brick from Insatiable. We need justice from that show. Which is also and people who's also in the show is Dina, Josh, and Sam from the first movie, aka the survivors from the first movie. Let's start talking about it. So we're back in 1994. Dina and Josh go to see Berman's house to get some answers about how to break the curse. Because C. Berman is a survivor of the 1978. So C. Berman is going to talk about what happened in 1978. So that's when we time travel to, again, 1978. So on July 19th, 1978, Ziggy Berman from Shadyside is accused from stealing by Sheila, aka Jeanette from Cruel Summer, a Sunnyvale camper and her friends. They accuse her of being a witch and rope her to the tree and beginning to burn her. Let me repeat that. Trying to kill her over a $5 bill. Y'all are rich. What's the point? I'm sorry, I just had to get that out of my system. Thank goodness they're right. The counselors, Nick Good and Kurt, aka, you guys know, Nick Good, aka the cop from the first movie. This is a young Nick Good. Ziggy's older sister, Cindy, and her boyfriend, Tommy Slater, are cleaning the mess in the mess hall where Nurse Lane, the mother of the Shady Cider killer, Ruby Lane, attacks Tommy, saying that he will die the night before she is removed from camp by police. The teenagers from Sunnyvale believe that she was possessed by Sarah Fear, as well as her daughter. While investigating in the infirmary, Cindy and Tommy bumped into Alice, Cindy's former friend, and her boyfriend Arnie. They found Lane's diary, which says that Fear made a deal with the devil by cutting off her hand on Satan's stone, thereby earning eternal life. They also found a map in the diary leading to Fear's house. At the house, they found empty graves dug up by Nurse Lane and discovered the witch's mark below the house. Alice and Cindy fight a wall carved with names of every single Shadyside killer. Hold on, where was that at? I don't know, y'all. Oh, and Tommy's name was also on the wall. Tommy is now possessed and he kills Arnie with an axe. He was all like... That was a reenactment of Arnie's death. You're welcome. The girls escape into a cave, and back at camp, Nick help Ziggy get revenge on Sheila and lock her in the outhouse covered in bugs. And one went into her mouth. It was so funny. She was all like, ah, ah. Oh, I can't look at my place for some reason. Hold up, give me a minute. Give me a minute. Oh, and here we go. As the two bond and kiss, it almost has XEX. Tommy reaches the camp and murders several Shadyside campers, including Counselor Joan. Meanwhile, Cindy and Alice try to escape using the witch's mark and the diary as a map to get out of the cave. They come inside a pile of beating organs, which, when Alice touches, gets her flashback of all of the Shadyside killers and their victims. After Alice injures her leg, she bonds with Cindy again, and the two become friends again. After fighting an angry Sheila knocking her conscious, Ziggy and the counselor Gary try to rescue Alice and Cindy until Tommy decapitates Gary. He was all like, okay, so here was Tommy. Tommy was all like, ugh, and then, hold on. And Gary was all like, ugh. That was also a reenactment of Gary's death. Rest in peace. Even though we didn't see you in most of the movie. So Ziggy hides with Nick until he is injured by Tommy, who almost cut his leg open. He was all like, and he was all like, ah, my leg! That's also how Raven did last year. It was so funny. So all of the campers, Shadyside and Sunnyvale, escape. Ziggy was the only one left at Camp Nightwing since the camp forgot her. So she was left with Camp Nightwing's serial killer, aka Tommy. So Cindy finds a route to the mess hall where Alice stays behind. Tommy attacks Ziggy, but Cindy kills Tommy. Alice arrives and tells them that she found the witch's hand. She has stared bleeding and realizing that it was sitting near the Satan stone where she dug it up. The trio decides to end the curse by reuniting Sarah's hand. So let me repeat that. To end the Shadyside curse forever, they had to reunite the hand with the body of Sarah Fear. Remember that in the third movie when y'all watch it. So Ziggy has blood has dropped on Sarah Fear's hand, and she has another vision of Sarah Fear, just like Sam did in the first movie. So Tommy comes back to life and kills Alice. Tommy was like, ugh, and then Alice was all like, oh, my shoulder, I can't wear tank tops anymore, my shoulder. Hold on. And then so all the past Shadyside killers comes back to life and starts going after Cindy and Ziggy. So Ziggy and Cindy run to the tree where Sarah Fear was hung. And with the Shadyside killers in pursuit, they dug around the tree and finds the rock, the witch lives forever. They didn't find the body, so the Shadyside killers, they murder Cindy and Ziggy. It was so sad. Like, they've been stung multiple times. I don't know how they survived after like 10. If I was them, it would be like one stab, and then I was all like. But then young Nick Good saved Ziggy. And then he did the worst thing ever. Cindy died, but she was thinking that she died along with Ziggy, but Ziggy was actually alive. So this whole time, C. Berman is actually Ziggy. So Dina and Josh realize that C. Berman is Ziggy, whose real name is Christine. They tell her the story. They tell her that they found the witch's body. So Dina grabbed the hand and she went to the woods where Sarah Fear's body was found. So her nose started bleeding and she reunited the hand with the body. And you guys think that's over, but it's not. So Dina, when she reunited them, she went back in time, all the way back to 1666. And instead of Dina Johnson, she's now Sarah Fear. And that is the end of Fear Street 2, aka Fear Street 1978. So, what do I give this movie? I give it an 8 out of 10. It was a good sequel / prequel, but it was boring at certain times. Like, the first one, it was so exciting, but the second one, it was, okay. If you guys like the Friday the 13th movies, you guys are going to like this movie. Yes, so that is it. So make sure you like and subscribe. And it feels good to be back on YouTube after everything. And this is Mr. Shady signing off.